All right, here we go, fourth graders. Let's take a look. We are working on topic 8 in envision. So this is the enhanced version of the test. So let's take a look at the first one. We'll be going over. They want us to choose yes or no if the product, so remember product meaning answer, would equal 960. So if we take a look at the first one, we have 48 times 20. So we look at our base numbers, 48 and 2. 8 times 2 equals 16. 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. And then add that 0 at the end. I like to put dots to remind myself. So yes, this would equal 960. If we take a look at the next one, it's 12 times 80. So we have 12 times 80. So once again, I'm just going to work with the base numbers. 12 times 8. 2 times 8 equals 16. 8 times 1 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. Add my 0 at the end. There's another one. So yes, 12 times 80 does equal 960. Looking at 1C, we have the problem 18 times 60. Look at my base numbers again. 18 times 6. 8 times 6 equals 48. And then my 6 times 1 equals 6. Plus 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I add my 0. So that would be 1080. That definitely is not 960. So that one, the answer would be no. That does not have the product. Remember, product is the answer to a multiplication problem. All right, and then finally, we have 24 times 40. 24 times 4 for the base numbers. So I have 24 times 4. 4 times 4 equals 16. 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 1 equals 9. I add a 0 at the end, and yes, that also gives us the answer 960. All right, moving on to number 2, which looks like it's looking using an array. So kind of a picture to solve. We have Ben used the array to find the product of 24 times 42, which partial product, so remember partial meaning part, if you look at the partial product, they're part of the number. Which partial product should Ben add to find the product? So if I did 20 times 40, that would be 2 times 4, which equals 8. And then I add my zeros, 0, 0. And then I have my 20 times 2, which equals 40. And I have my 4 times 40, which equals, or 4 times 4 equals 16. And then add the 0. And I have my 4 times 2, which equals 8. So I have 800 plus 160. I always like to do the bigger numbers first. Plus 40 plus 8. So then I'd have to go through each one of these to make sure. So here's an 8, here's an 8, here's a 40, here's a 40, here's a 160, here's 160. Oh, no. So that would not work. Eliminate or strike through if you are taking an S back. I have a 6 here, but I don't have any 6s here. No, so that would not work. Strike through. I have an 8 here. I have an 8 here. Let me use a different color. I have an 8 here. I have an 8 here. 40 here, 40 here, 160 here, 160. Ah, that might work. But I'm not going to finish. I need to double check that that's not 2 answers. I have an 8 here. I have an 8 here. I have a 44 here, but I don't have a 44 anywhere. So I could strike through that one. So my answer for 2 would be 8 plus 40 plus 160 plus 800. So let's go on to number, actually, let's go on to number 3 down here. 12 fourth graders. So what do we know? We know that there's 12 fourth graders and they go on a field trip to a farm. Each class has 12. Oh, wow. 12 fourth grade classes. I didn't realize that. Oops. Okay, so each class equals 24 students, which shows the number of fourth graders who went on the trip. So there's 12 classes altogether, 24 students in each class, 12 classes. So then we multiply that, which shows the number of fourth graders who went on the trip. Well, you can already see it's definitely not going to be A. I really doubt it's going to be. I think if you were to add 20, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be 96, of course. Let's take a look though. So 4 times 2 equals 8. And then I go 2 times 2, which equals 4. And now I've got to put my little fill that spot in. And then I'm going to continue by adding, what should I do? I want a new color. Let's do a cute purple. So now I'm going to do my 1 in the tens place. 1 times 4, which equals 4. 1 times 2, which equals 2. Then I add them all up. 8 plus 0 equals 8. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 2 plus 0 equals 2. So altogether there are 288 students going on the field trip. All right. If we look at number 4, there are 15 boys in Mason's baseball teams. The coach will get new uniforms for the team. The shirts cost $18 each. I'm going to have to erase this because I love to do my what do I know? What are they asking? And then solve. So I'm going to start out with my K. What do I know? All right, I know that there are 15 boys on Mason's baseball team. The coach will get new uniforms for the team. The shirts cost $18 each. And the shorts cost, so the shirts and the shorts cost $10. Find the cost for the uniforms for 15 players all together. Let's see. So then I would need all together. So if a boy is going to get a shirt and a short, it's going to be $28 altogether. So, but there are 15 boys. So I know that I will have $28 for each kid, and there's 15 kids. So now if I multiply, I have 5 times 8, which equals 40. And then I have 5 times 2, which equals 10, plus the 4, which equals 14. Now I've got to put my little filler. Oops, I like red. There we go. There's Phil. Phil, he just fills in the spot because now we're going to the tens place. 1 times 8 equals 8. 1 times 2 equals 2. Now I add it all together. 0 plus 0. 8 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Plus 2 equals 4. So all together, if I were to find the cost of the uniforms, so this is our solving, and then our answer would be, altogether, it's going to cost $420. And then explain how you found the answer. Oops. Explain how you found the answer to question 4. I found, remember you always want to use some of the words in, I found the answer to number or question number 4 by adding the clothing to cost, what was it, $28 each? $28 per player. There were 15 players. So I multiplied, sorry how sloppy this is, multiplied 28 times, I like writing out the words when they're asking you questions, times 15. All right, and then finally, let's just kind of take a look at, let me erase this. Let's take a look at number 6. For number 6, it looks like we have find the partial products for 59 times 47. So I could already see this is going to be 50 plus 9, 40 plus 7, and then use the numbers shown. So on the test form, you would drag and drop, which is great practice for the state test. But for this, we would multiply 40 times 5. I love the, zero hero, if you remember that from when you were little, because it makes it so much quicker, because I'm just looking for my base numbers, 4 and 5, which equals 20, and then a 0 and a 0, 0 and a 0. And I like to put the dots because this 20 has a 0, but it's not connected to these extras. So then I know that this is going to be 2,000. So you can already see there's a 2,000. And then if I look at my next number, I may have to erase just to show you. Then if I look at my next number, I'm going to multiply. Let me do a different color. Oops. Let me do blue. 40 times 9, 40 times 9. Look at my base numbers. 9 times 4 equals 36. Add my 0, 360. So do I have a 360 over here? I do. And then, let me do a different color. And then I'm going to do 7. 7 times 50. I'm going to look at my base number. 7 times 5 equals 35. So 350. And then I'm going to do my final one, partial product, which is going to be 7 times 9, which I could have done that without, I guess, but 63. So 350 is here, 63 is here. So those you would, on the digital test, you would drag and drop. And then it says, refer to your work in question 6. What is the product of? So then they would want us to answer this. So if you want to answer it in standard form by just multiplying 59 times 47, you could. Or I kind of like, it's already written out. So 2,000, or actually, hold on. Let me show you what I mean by that. All right, 2,000, 1, 2, 3, plus 360, plus, there we go, 350, plus 63. And to be honest, I would rewrite it so I have all the place values lined up. 63, because that's half the battle, is just making sure nothing's out of place value. So then, let's see, this would equal 3. 6 plus 5 equals 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Carry the 1. 1, 6. 3 plus 6 equals, 3 plus 3 equals 6. Plus 1, 7. 2 plus 0. So 2,000. So let's see, refer, what is the product? And I don't know if it wants us to write out, but if it ever asks you to write out, then you would write the answer. The product would be, and what was it, you guys? 2,773. And I always tell my students, be careful of that comma, because on the state test, they do not like commas. Or a lot of times kids will accidentally push the decimal, and we don't want that. All right, and then this number 8, match each multiplication expression with its product. So I can already see, let me erase. We're almost done, 2 more. Let's see. So if we look at the first one, we're just going to have to solve all of them. If we look at the first one, we have 26 times 60, base numbers, 26 times 6, 36, and then cross multiply. 2 times 6 equals 12, 13, 14, 15, and then I want to add my 0. So I'm looking for this one. So these add up right together. So those would connect almost like a puzzle piece is what it's going to have you do on the digital test, if you take the digital test. And then the next one says 50 times 33, base numbers, 33 times 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. 3 times 5, 15, 16. And I add my 0 at the end. So I want to look to see. So then this one would connect to this one. Let me see if I can do it in a different color. All right. And then if I did the next one, 90 times 41. So base numbers, 41 times 9. 1 times 9, 1. 9 times 4 is 36, adding the 0. So 3,690. If I did a little line there. And then, let's see, the next one's 82 times 70. So a lot of this is just, you've got to know your multiplication facts. So if you're still having trouble with that, just kind of finding a good, either flashcards, that's how I did it in the 70s, or 70s, oh, I'm not that old, in the 80s, finding flashcards or just practicing it, just rotation, like memorization, or finding a good game. There's so many good games. 2 times 7 equals 14. Cross multiply, 8 times 7 equals 56 plus 1, 57. And then remembering that 0. I almost just forgot it. All right, so 5,700. So this one would be connected to this one. And then if we look, we have 38 times 20, base numbers. 38 times 2, 16. 3 times 2 equals 6, plus 7, adding the 0 at the end, 760 connects to this one. And then our final, good job you guys, almost done. Our final one, so you can kind of see the power of those base numbers. Makes it go so much quicker. All right, finding the product of 49 times 27. So if you like to do the partial product and do those, great. If you like to do the 80s way, great. It's just up to you what works best for you. So if you want to do a whole box thing of, you know, here's my 49, 40, and 9, 20, and 7, and then multiply 600, 800, and then 2 times 9, which would be 18 and a 0, 7 times 4, 28, plus a 0, 7 times 9, 63, and then add them all up. You could do that. I always say it's tedious, it takes time, but you probably will get a better answer that way. 8 plus 8 equals 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then 8 plus 2 equals 10, 11, 12, 13. 1,000, and then you'd have to write it, 1,323. All right, that is it for topic 8. Study it. If you want to watch it again, great. If you want to write some of the problems out again, that's half the battle, is just practicing. So good luck on the test.